Yo! What up, nerds? What up, nerds? What are you doing? Nerds, what are you doing? Nerds!
Okay. Do we find that good spot? Find that good spot to just change the MO here? Oh. Gotta turn on the camera. That's important. There we go. Did I push the button? I pushed the button. What up, nerds? What are you doing? It's Monday. It's Monday. We're back. We're back with another live stream. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? How are you doing today? How is everybody? Let me know in the chat if you're doing good, if you're doing bad. I'm interested. I would like to know. Meanwhile, Alyssa Bentley was first to the chat today. Quickly followed by Frank Dominguez, Will M. Nabokov fan, Rebecca Lowry, Nick's Fish Room, Fish Fam Link. That's it. You guys are chatting. It's fine. We don't have a ton of people in the chat today. Where's the ton of the people in the chat? New Uncle Austin just got here. I'm What's Up with What's Up. Nice to catch you live. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see ya. Good to see the people here today. And if you're on Replay Team 6, you're not off the hook. You have to put... If you're watching this after the fact, you got to leave Replay Team 6 down in the comments. It's just how you have to do it. It's how it goes. That's the rules. Don't break the rules. Otherwise, bad luck, I think. You know, an unverifiable consequence, right? Like bad luck, you'll have bad luck. Yeah. I do have a quick thing to read at the beginning of the stream. For some reason, that file is not open, so I'm supposed to read that. Hold on, let me find... Where's the file? I gotta scroll up to find the file. Is it down here? Oh, yeah. There it is. There's the thing I'm supposed to read. As of a few weeks ago... Attention. As of a few weeks ago, my association with the Aquarium Co-op has ended. Sadly, after years of collaboration, this split was not amicable. As a result, I have no current plans of discussing further information about the departure. In the meantime, I wanted to be proactive and transparent in communication so that it wouldn't come as a surprise if revealed at a later date. Currently, my focus is on doing my best to launch new content in the coming months, find new work, and continue on the projects that are currently projecting. I appreciate the community we have built and thank you in advance for your support. We are in for an interesting time as things shake out. So from that statement, hopefully you guys can understand what's going on. We are back in the... no longer employed or associated with the Aquarium Co-op, so we are moving on and doing what we can to do what we can. That said, things have been quite busy with interview processes, general inquiries for work, networking, blah blah blah. I've been posting some short videos about other stuff that we've been up to, like working on the property down south, finishing up my fish room here. I hope to bring you guys more content for sure as time goes on. I know that most people are here because of the fish keeping community, whether it be aquariums and stuff like that, and I assure you we will be doing more of that content as things get set up and get going. We will continue to do some of that content for sure. I also am going to be doing more content around construction projects. We're going to be doing a lot more construction projects and things like that over the next 6-month period. We have a lot of things that are in the works that we got to get going, and we got to keep doing it. So in order to keep doing it, I have to keep hustling on it, right? And since we are going to continue hustling on it, I will continue making videos and doing my best to edit them and get them out to you guys. My plan was to currently have some edited content once a week. I haven't figured out what day I want that to come out, and as far as the schedule has worked, that the editing process is the thing that's in the way right now, mainly because I work on construction. I film it all day. I construct stuff, and I cut all the videos and stuff, and then it's kind of the end of the day, and it's like, I don't know if I can get to it. But I am slowly shoehorning editing time into my daily schedule, so that is coming along pretty well. I also have a couple of inquiries out there towards a few editors to help edit some content for us. When it comes down to a different vision from a different editor, I find that to be incredibly helpful and is fantastic. One of the downsides is it generally costs money, so we're trying to figure out how to fund that. This channel was self-funded for a long time. One of the things that I find interesting now is that I am no longer beholden to the standards of corporate America, realistically, from the standpoint of somebody else making the decisions on what I'm supposed to talk about. So if I want to talk about abortion, I'll talk about that. If I want to talk about the 14th Amendment, we'll talk about that. If I want to talk about corporate America destroying what America was, we could talk about that, right? We could talk about whether or not making all of your products in China is kind of wild, right? We could talk about whether or not American goods are any good. We can talk about whatever we want. We can say shit, fuck, whatever, doesn't matter. We no longer are beholden to the idea that the Hank Hill people of the middle of the country are going to start sending in email bombs and threats and whatnot, so we can continue going back to making the content which I always wanted to do, and we'll continue doing that. As you guys know, I'm pretty staunchly a free speech advocate from the standpoint of, if it's not hate speech, I don't mind. If it's not derogatory towards people, I don't mind. From a harsh standpoint, right? Like, if you just say somebody's being stupid or that's just a dumb opinion or whatever, it's not a big deal, right? That, it honestly isn't a big deal, and it's generally not that big of an insult. But if you're, for instance, insulting someone's heritage or something, it's nothing that they can do about it, right? And that's where I pretty much draw the line as far as the speech stuff goes. But I obviously do not wish for the government to restrict anybody's speech, and I certainly don't encourage platforms like YouTube stifling people's speech. But there is a limit, right? And I think this last weekend we saw in Jacksonville, Florida, three innocent people murdered because of a horrific ideology, and nobody ever had a chance to even defend themselves. So there are terrible things in this world, and sometimes you do have to talk about terrible things in order to confront them. And I do have a goal to generally go back to doing that, as opposed to wearing Chinese finger cuffs on a daily basis, right, whenever I wanted to make something, right? So we're back to where we were before with much less support. So that's the unfortunate side of it. Is the economic side of things is one of our big issues that we will have to continue dealing with, whether or not I can exist as a fan-funded program, right? That's really the question. I don't know. I don't know if this channel can exist fan-funded. I don't know if we have or whatever. Jeff Bezos is not on board. That's what I'm saying. So we'll see how it goes. But we do have a big-time gift here. We've got 10 gifted memberships at the low tier from Rebecca Lowry, which is incredibly generous. We very much appreciate it. And that's very big time. So thank you very much, Rebecca. Everyone in that list, I'm sure, appreciates it. Let's run through the list real quick if we've seen these people around. Linda Worth, we've definitely seen them around. New Local Austin, they're even here earlier. Pauline's, Kiwi Mamo, Nancy B in Tennessee. I don't know if I've ever seen Nancy B in Tennessee. Luke Wang, long time. Shelby Ray Lane, long time. New Local Austin. With a comment. Duh. Lawrence Keebler, Simon Bies, and Lady Guinevere. Would definitely like to hear from all of them and see how they're doing. Those have all been longtime viewers, so hopefully they're doing well. Gary B says, civilly. That's right. People are allowed to have disagreements, even in my space, as long as you just have a relative civility, right? That is totally fine by me. And, people getting heated or people getting upset or whatever is great as long as you aren't just like, you basically aren't throwing out racial slurs or anything crazy like that. Then generally, most things are fine in my book, right? Yeah. Gary B says, dude, I've always felt a connection with you and love your views, bro. We are Americans, and we should be able to have our own view and hear others' opinions and be able to discuss civilly. That's right. And it's one of those things that this last weekend I was having a discussion with some people whose opinions that I very much appreciate and to take seriously. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss with them, as them being an older generation than myself, was the two generations before mine. So you're kind of thinking people in their mid to late 50s up till their 80s, 90s, right? Those generations were consistently following the, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about finances, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about any of this stuff. Everything was always a big secret. Everything was supposed to be a big secret. And I'm 100% not sure why that is the case, which is one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up. I wanted to have a discussion of what they thought about it at the moment, and I will be following up with them in the next couple of weeks to see how they feel about them later down the road, right? Of like, hey, you've thought about this a little bit. What do you think now? Because I always feel like it's great to get somebody's knee-jerk reaction, but also like a follow-up of, hey, did you think about this? Let me know what you think. And but that had been the attitude in the United States, that you don't ever have a conversation about anything. And I don't really know what the deal is. Nabokov fan says Puritan ideals. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the root of it, right? In my sort of idiotic opinion, right, is that those puritanical ideals just continued along, and it was the de facto go-to for so long of like, yeah, you just don't ever have a discussion with anything about anybody. But the world that we live in now, my generation and the generation after mine are generally much more open-minded about having discussions about certain things. And it really is one of those things that information is much more freely and readily available now than it was many years ago. And so I'm really hoping as we sort of evolve as a humanity, right, sort of as humanity evolves, we are able to have conversations about those and then be able to work within the middle gray area as opposed to everything just being black and white all the time, right? And I hope that we are moving in that direction. Rebecca says, as someone who runs large Facebook groups, the no politics, religion, and sex convo is based solely on people not being to be civil, right? That's the thing. Is like I'm involved in a bunch of online forum places and stuff like that, and the reality is like people are definitely able to go back and forth as long as they're just maintaining their civility, right? And in my opinion, like saying shit doesn't make you lack civility, right? Blue, whatever you want to call it, like blue language or whatever, does not bother me whatsoever. But when you start to get to messing with somebody's sort of sort of their base identity, right? And you're starting to use that in a defamatory way. That's where it starts to cross the line. And sometimes, you do have to give reminders to people that that you're either on the edge or you're about to go too far, right? So I do understand like moderating content makes sense to me, but just the strict like strict censorship of topics and stuff is just a total bullshit stance to have, realistically. Gary B says I'm repping replay team 6, usually reporting repointing love or repping live. There we go. Got a spell check. Okay. I was like trying to read this whole sentence and the end of it was screwing up me saying the beginning of it. Got it. So repping live, that's great. It's always great to see people around live. And I understand there are a lot of people that listen to podcast type stuff after the fact. I really understand that because I am one of those people. It's like if I see a 2 or a 3 hour thing online, I straight up am like, oh, I'll just listen to that in like 2x speed or 1.5 speed or whatever and just listen to it. Because I'm going to be doing other stuff. So I understand like the long form content doesn't work great for people. One of the reasons I like doing the live form content is because we are able to have an interaction. Obviously you guys are like 15 or 10 seconds behind me, but it's basically a live interaction. It's an opportunity for an interaction. So that's why I enjoy doing the live content. That's the whole reason for doing it, in my opinion. Nabokov fan was asking about me doing something with Bentley earlier. What was it? You mentioned in a Bentley stream you wanted someone to break it. Oh, I have a request for a thing on your website. My website is basically, I really have not even updated it in a really long time. I go on there just to make sure that it's still live, basically, and people don't really interact with it all that much. It needs a bunch of, like, search engine optimization. It needs a bunch of updating. It needs a bunch more content. It needs a bunch more content up on it, realistically, if it's going to be a standalone website. A lot of stuff I do is on Discord, Patreon, YouTube, like Facebook, Instagram. There's so many sites now, it's getting ridiculous. So, that's mainly the reason why is like going, well, it's just another thing that's going to take up a bunch of time. So I assume at some point we'll definitely get to updating that website. I just don't even ever know when. I did post a comment about how you should do a stream with Bentley, especially given his last community post and just needing some smiles around. I was watching old clips from your guys' streams. I am not sure what's going on with Bentley, so I would have to check in with him. The last time I talked to him, I feel like I may have overshared a little bit because I was honestly telling him some of my impression of having dealt with the internet and just how ridiculously toxic most creators are. Not all of them, obviously, but most of them behind the scenes are reprehensible people, and I don't enjoy most of that. Bentley is somebody who is a great guy behind the scenes. I can verify that personally. I've been to his house. I've been around him. He is actually a good guy, and I would be more than happy to do some other shows with him. As soon as the studio is done, I will send out a couple invites. Alyssa Bentley is on the list, and Bentley Pasco is definitely on the list. So that's going to be good. It's all there. Okay. The very short version of that statement was, when the studio's done, they're on the short list. Does that make sense? So we'll likely be doing some of that at some point in time. I can respect people's views, but the core values have shifted, and this is where I'm getting confused. Yeah, I think that I think that's where I think a lot of the confusion lies. I think certain extremes have gone off the deep end, right? Especially in the United States. I noticed it when I was in Europe. Last time I was in Europe, I noticed it was very similar there. And my guess is that it's probably pretty similar throughout the world, that the sort of extremes have started going more extreme. And I think, unfortunately, in the United States, we have a two-party system. So when the extremes of those parties, with there only being two major parties, when the extremes start going, it seems like everybody is going that direction, right? And I think that's where a lot of the arguments, especially in the United States specifically, I think a lot where that's coming from. Rebecca Lowry, first one is the story of social media based on the people that wrote the code for it and how it has changed. Second one is a worst case scenario about what can go wrong. Oh, what was that? Two things I would ask that are related. Have you seen both on Netflix for viewing, The Social Dilemma, as well as what I think is a weird sort of sequel to that, The Great Hack? I don't believe I've seen The Great Hack, and I think I watched The Social Dilemma a while back. And I think the reality is that, like, I honestly think almost every single social media system is beyond any of the people, including myself, understanding it as a whole. Does that make sense? I honestly believe that the years and years of doing YouTube, for instance, is a perfect example. They have done tweaks to the YouTube algorithm so many times. There's so many layers done to it that they make a small change, and all of a sudden, and let's just use somebody who's a douche as an example. Who's that boxer guy? Hold on. YouTube boxer. Jake Paul. Yeah, it's like, and then all of a sudden Jake Paul is super famous, right? Perfect example. Like, they make a small tweak. All of a sudden, Jake Paul gets pushed to the front of the algorithm, but also at the same time, a perfect example of the other side of it is that they make a small tweak and Casey Neistat gets pushed to the top, right? So there definitely are positives and negatives, all even within those systems and how they program them at the time. But I think the bigger thing is that most, if not all of the, if not all of the programmers and people involved in programming these algorithms, essentially, I don't think there's one single person that really knows everything that is going on with them. Oh, they did a major tweak this past 2-3 weeks. Google did one for Google search as well. Which one did they do? Because they normally don't know what major tweak they're going to do, and then they do it, and then they wait to see what happens, and then everyone rushes to make the change to do that, to make their stuff apply to the new change that they did. I'm not aware of any new changes that were made personally, though. Bob Barker, that's right, Bob Barker died. That is unfortunate. Although at the same time, I did see somebody had posted a video that they were saying that, like, I swear Bob Barker died like 5 years ago, and I felt that in my bones. I was like, I'm pretty sure Bob Barker was already dead, right? Yeah, it's like, I thought he had already died like 5 years ago or whatever. And then, of course, there was an endless slew of memes about Bob Barker getting as close to on 100 without going over, which, that's one of those things that that you're like, that actually is kind of funny because it's contextual to not going over, right? Why isn't this working? Hold on. Click the button. Click this button. Click here. OMG. Oh, escape. I need to hit escape. Okay. Right click. Delete. Okay. There we go. Delete. Yes. Delete that from the main page. I was just trying to delete The live stream link off of the Discord. That's right. If you don't have the Discord, you should become a member or a patron, and you can join up on our Discord, and you can call in. Speaking of calling in, if you are a member or whatnot, you can join up on our Discord and enter the green room, and you can yell at me if you like, or be friendly if you like, or I guess you could just be apathetic, or you could just be one of those people that hits the like button, or you could be like Rebecca Lowry and gift 5 more memberships, which is wild. That puts us back up at 70 memberships, which at this time, is quite appreciated, because we need to get up to somehow to get to about 2,000 members, and then we'll be able to pay the mortgage, right? Yeah, we'll be able to pay the mortgage and whatnot. So that's pretty big time. I appreciate it. Create a crap ton of feedback. That's right. You're supposed to create a crap ton of feedback. That's for sure. Or you could just do the free thing and hit the like button. You could do that. Next Fish Room says, I thought a guy in my neighborhood had died a couple years back. Was delighted to see him walking his dog the other day. One of the benefits of aging and memory loss. Okay, well, that is a valid point. That is a solidly valid point. Maybe I just thought Bob Barker died because there's something, I could just be getting old and not know what the hell's going on. Am I supposed to say Pepsi and Coca-Cola a lot? Yeah, I don't know about Pepsi and Coca-Cola. I don't. Actually, all pop is trash. All soda, whatever you want to call it, soda pop, it's all trash. It's all sugary garbage, and I don't drink it. Because of that reason. Well, to be clear, my reasoning looks like this. I would like to have a candy bar, maybe. I would like to have some Skittles, maybe. Or, actually, my most favorite thing in the whole wide world is eating some ice creams, right? I'd like to have like an ice cream treat. And if I had a pop today, that means there's just not enough sugar left to be allowed to have some ice cream on the day without getting closer and closer to getting Wolford Brimley all up in my case with the diabetes, I don't want Wolford Brimley coming up. I don't want Wolford Brimley's ghost coming over here and being like, you need to eat some Quaker Oats, man, for diabetes. I don't need that. I don't need that on my I don't need that Wolford Brimley ghost coming out of my walls. I just frankly don't. What are we supposed to do? 2, search results basically ignore certain things, and it's very, very difficult to search for something and find actual info. It's sort of based on how often it appears as opposed to matching terms. This encourages engagement, and it makes you stay on the platform longer. Yeah, actually, to be clear, every single platform is attempting to retain people. So be aware of that. If you are somebody who's on your phone or you're on the internet or whatever, like they're using every trick in the book for you to stay on that platform, right? Like that's the most important thing to them. Like if you're existing on the platform, that's it. That's all they care about. Looks guilty at her Coke stash and very fondly at her 4.9 A1C. What is that? What's a 4.9 A1C? What is that? I'm going to look it up. What's a normal hemoglobin A1C test? Oh my God. For people without diabetes, the normal range of hemoglobin A1C level is between 4 and 5.6. Hemoglobin A1C levels between 5.7 and 6.4 mean you have prediabetes and a higher chance of getting diabetes. Levels 6.5 or higher mean you have diabetes. Okay, well, 4.9 sounds like you're doing all right. So maybe that's the case. See, here's the deal. Like, here's a perfect example. Like, I don't like pop. I think it's garbage, and I don't think it's good for you. But I gave you my reasoning for it, and it's like, because I'd rather have a treat that comes in a different form. Now, if that's the form that you like to have your treat as a pop, hey, then go for it. I just don't think having 2, 3, or 4 a day is very detrimental, and I don't think it's necessarily too bad for people to have one a day or whatever. Now, what's interesting, I was over at Aunt and Uncle's house the other day, and they had these little tiny pop cans. I don't know if you guys have seen those. They're like an actual 1 serving can. And I don't know how many ounces they were. 1 serving can of, let's just call it Coke. Let's just call it Coke. There were these little cans, and I think they were like, I think that they were like 5 ounces. Yeah, I don't. This wasn't easy to look up, by the way. They're not making it easy. Search with an AI powered boost. No, we don't. We don't want AI powered boost. Get that boost out of here. Yeah, this is all just giving us the one. Coca-Cola cans 7.5 flow ounces? That might have been what they were. They might have been 7.5. Yeah, because they were 90 calories. So that must have been what it is. Yeah, they were like 90 calories, it said on the can. So they must have been 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 ounces as opposed to the 12-ounce can, which is 25 grams of sugar, which is much more reasonable if you're going to have like a little drink thing, right? As opposed to the 150, what is it, 150, 160 calories, and then I think it's like 40 grams of sugar or something like that. It's pretty wild. I mean, to be clear, guys, I don't really count. I definitely don't count calories or count sugar grams or any of that kind of crap. I really don't do that. I just know that here's the way that I look at it is like I'm going to eat my vegetables. I'm going to eat my fruit when I can. You know, it's sort of have as much as you want, right? I try to keep the meats to a minimum, a dull roar. I try to replace meats with eggs instead. And then I generally have meat at dinner. And, yeah, I just try to keep things to a dull roar, right? Like the treats. I keep a track of like treats. Like how many treats did I have today? How many things like that, like dessert type things. And if it was like, oh, I had some cookies at lunch, it's like, all right, I'm just going to not have any ice cream or anything like that. I'll just have regular dinner and not have another one. I just try to keep the dessert thing to like 1 a day. Yeah. I just simplified 10 minutes of me jabbering like a buffoon, but yes. Part of the 100 to 150 calorie snack phenomenon. Yeah, that's right. 7.5 and 5 ounce. They might have been 5 ounce. Yeah. Okay, so they're called mini. Oops. Move the chat over here. There we go. And then I can go to the search window. Coke mini cans. How many ounces? 7.5. Okay, so that must have been. You know, they look small. I don't know. I didn't drink one of them, so I just looked at them for a minute and I was like, "Oh, that seems like a better option, especially if kids are around." You know, because like the kids are going to drink a lot of pops. But I was a kid that I would leave half-drank Coke cans around because I don't know. I wouldn't get through a whole pop. It would drive parents crazy. Why open this if you aren't going to finish it? And it's like, I don't want any more pop. So, you know. Have to count them now. When I was in Hawaii, I couldn't. Came back to the mainland and my ankles were swollen. Ah, bummer. I feel so called out. Steak and chicken are amazeballs, and cheese and dairy, yeah, muy importante. Yeah, I definitely have cheese and dairy. Yeah. Like I said, my diet's not super limited, but I just try to keep it to a dull roar, right? Like, I just try to pump the brakes. That's it. That's all it really is. You know, it's like, you know, if I had ice cream, like if we went out, so Saturday we went out with Olivia and Vicky, and we stopped and had an ice cream after doing a bunch of stuff all day because it was super hot out and it was just like fun thing to do. So we went and had ice creams, and then it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to have any dessert tonight, right? Pretty simple. I just keep it basic. But as Alyssa said, that their ankles got swollen, and my ankles don't get swollen. So, that I don't really have those concerns. Oh, I found diet ginger beer that is delightfully spicy and only 25 calories per bottle. It doesn't even have fake sugars. It just isn't super sweet. All right, I would check that out. I would definitely check that out for sure. If there's like a root beer, ginger beer, something interesting like that, I'll definitely check it out for sure. Yeah, 100%. I have a strong dislike of carbonated beverage in general, and sodas usually make me feel sick. Yeah, I don't don't particularly enjoy carbonated things, I guess, is probably very, very accurate. Very accurate. Cleaning the fish room. What is happening, my fishy people? From Bracken. What's up, Bracken? I haven't seen you in a long time. Hopefully you're doing well, right? Hopefully you're doing well. Are you doing well? I hope you are. What's this? Okay, we don't need that. We just got a whole bunch of wacky, zany emails. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to do that thing. I'm supposed to do the commercial thing, right? Hey, become a patron or a YouTube member today. It's very important. For money, I guess. I don't know. You know how it is. There's the patron link. If you want to go over to www.patreon.com/JOEL_C, that's me. Go there. Become a patron at massive amounts of money every month, and then I'll just be making content nonstop. I admit to having a problem with cheese, and there is no Cheese Anonymous. There is a Cheese Anonymous, I believe. Isn't there? Yeah, Overeaters Anonymous. That includes cheese. So you could go there and talk about your cheese problems, right? I go to Alcoholics Anonymous because I like Alcoholics Anonymous more than I like the other ones, like Narcotics Anonymous. I like Alcoholics Anonymous. Those low bottom drunks. You know what I'm saying? Those low bottom drunks. I get a good opportunity to get things off my chest and talk about things and get some good perspective on my sobriety, which is currently at how many days? Drum roll, please. 3,394. 3,394 days sober from drugs, alcohol, all of the mind-altering substances. I'm a sober boy, and what does that equal? How many days is that? That equals 9 months, or 9 years, 3 months, and 15 days. So we are happily on the road to recovery, and we just keep moving along because every day is a day in recovery, and that's great and pretty comforting to me. So, hey, I'm glad I got sober, and I'm glad that I continue to maintain my sobriety, and I have no intention on changing that anytime soon, and I am not ashamed of it. So if anybody ever has questions, wants some advice, if you need some input, if you're like, hey, I feel like my drinking is problematic or my heroin use is too much, hey, reach out to your boy. You can send me an email or a message or whatever. Do you know of a guy named Mike Jones? I know some guys named Mike Jones. The rapper Mike Jones or Mike Jones fish? Is it the Mike Jones from what is it? The My Aquarium Box? Is that right? Is that Mike Jones from no, that's Greg Jones. Greg Jones is from My Aquarium Box. Yeah, Boston Mike was my Aquarium Box. I think I'm mashing their two names together. I think I'm smashing their two names together. You'll have to give me more hints on Mike Jones. That's a very generic name, right? So, you know. Oh, I was looking through Amazon the Amazon affiliates page. I was looking through the Amazon affiliates page, and I saw that somebody had ordered. I saw that somebody had ordered CChem Prime off of my Amazon affiliates, which I appreciate when people order through the Amazon affiliate, because someday that'll add up. But what I wanted to remind them is that CChem Safe works basically exactly the same way. It's just bulk powder, right? And you will save yourself a lot of money. And right now, there's apparently a deal on CChem Safe on Amazon where whereas people are getting like 16% off CChem Safe. So what we have to do here is we have to go over here and we have to click on this link and then say, because of the Federal Trade Commission says, hey, if I post an Amazon link that's an affiliate, I have to tell you it's an affiliate link. You get a commission. Doesn't change the price. But just as a reminder, CChem Safe is currently overstocked on Amazon for some reason and is on sale. I like the little 250-gram bottles because they do a lot of dechlorinating for a very long time, and the bottle is not overtly gigantic like the bucket. I feel like the bucket, it's just too much. It takes up too much space, and I feel like you're not going to go through it fast enough unless you have some kind of gigantic fish room, and in that case, there's probably something out there for you other than dechlorinating water. Maybe get a well. I don't know. If you have that big of a fish room, just get a well. Bracken was saying he is in Tacoma AA and just wondered. It's not a big deal. Oh, I don't know. Most of the guys I know from AA, I don't know their last name, nor would I say their last name if I did know who they were. If I did know who that Mike Jones was, here's the deal. If it's somebody from AA, I would just be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So that's the fun part. The fun part is it's supposed to be anonymous. Nabokov fan says, I bought Safe once. I still have it, almost halfway done. A 75-gram or larger Safe is awesome. That's right. Or 75-gallon or larger. Even with small tanks, I still found Safe to be pretty reasonable because you just go buy yourself a one of those little tiny measuring spoon sets, those little tiny ones, and you'll get tiny measurements. And it's easy it's fairly easy to deal with it in that way. My phone was doing something weird because I had sawdust in the charging port on my phone. So how cool is that? Jeremy says, buy a bucket and split it with your club. Just don't get pulled over. Yeah, no doubt. You have a big bag of like cocaine-looking Safe in your trunk. And they're like, what's this chemical bag here? It's water dechlorinator, sir. Yeah, don't get pulled over. Just Bob says, Corvus, I've always been impressed with your honesty about drinking and how to deal with it. Helped a friend by showing him your story years ago with success. Oh, thank you very much. I am roughly working on a script to try and make an updated video in regards to my sobriety and stuff, but just really like kind of figuring out how to do that video has not been very easy for me, honestly. And I don't just want to make like a talking head video where I'm just sitting and like, hey, did you know that like you could be sober, bro? You could do that, bro. You know, I don't exactly want to be going down that road. So I've had some ideas of what I want to do, and I don't know. I feel like a couple of the ideas I had were like too edgy, and then I feel like a couple of the ideas I had were like not engaging enough. And so it's been a real, I don't know, it's been sort of a roller coaster of like trying to make that video. And I honestly, I feel like it doesn't need to feel like a roller coaster. And so to me, that means maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's, maybe it's not the right moment to get involved with that. Right. Yeah. So, I feel like any worthwhile project does take some effort, but I feel like if it's just not feeling correct, then it's probably time to like keep stepping back, right? Nabokov fan says 20 watching, 20 likes. YouTube, Corvus has 100% engagement. Well, we had 29 people watching a minute ago, but I probably talked about sobriety and they got pissed and left, so, or whatever. I don't know. But we shall see. Like I said it at the beginning of the video. I am now on the unemployment line and working to figure out exactly what direction I want to go to. I've had a few pseudo opportunities, but a lot of them are. Well, actually, I haven't really had any opportunities, but the ideas behind them are like, oh, do I potentially attend school? Do I attend an apprenticeship? Is this viable? Is that even available right now? So far, any apprenticeships haven't been available right now, so we shall see what happens in the next month or two. And, I might end up having to do that because I'll have to support my family, but that's one of the interesting things at this point is that I'm 43 years old. I have a kid. I have a mortgage. I have a spouse. I have all the, car payments. I have all that stuff. And to be, thinking about like, oh, maybe I should go back to school. Because when I was younger, I didn't have any opportunity to do further education. It was really one of those things that, when I was younger, it was like, oh, yeah, you could totally go to school. And at the time, it was, I would have gotten into a mountain of debt. I don't know how I would have paid my rent or have done well at school because I was working, 12, 14 hours a day. So it's like if I suddenly was unable to work because I was going to school, it was like I would have ended up homeless or had to take out some kind of crazy ass loans. You got to think this was like the year 2000, and back then they would like co-sign a loan that you would be paying the rest of your life, even if you were making like double payments on it every month, right? So when I looked at that stuff at the time, it was like, well, a loan doesn't even make any sense. I didn't really qualify for any Pell Grants or any of that stuff back then because some colorful interactions I had with the with the educational system / legal system, right? And so I pretty much put it upon myself that I was like, I'll just keep working, and if I just keep working really hard, eventually things will work out. Now, technically, things have fairly well worked out for me in my life at this point. After, like I said earlier, having been sober now for 9 years and 3 months and 15 days, I can say the majority of that period of my life has been pretty darn rewarding, realistically. Being financially set, that is not the case. So, so we shall see how things progress over the next couple of months. But like I said, a lot of it boils down to whether or not this is a project that's worth that people think is worth trying to support. We'll see. Rebecca Lowry says it can be tough to talk about yourself in a teaching way without being either self-conscious or coming off egotistical. And yeah, I mean that's really one of the things is that like, it's one of yeah. I mean it's really one of those things. Rebecca says, I wish there was more direct path to having a space where being self-educated can really be a thing. It sort of exists, but the reality is that there is sort of a glass ceiling in certain aspects of like the higher trades, right? And that's generally always going to be there unless you're willing to put in the time. The thing that gets me is that there weren't even any openings right now for apprenticeships, but I basically would have to do 8,000 hours, which is 4 years of full time at to do an apprenticeship with somebody, and that's basically 4 years of college, right? And so yeah, at 43, I don't know how well that's going to work out. Nabokov fans, plants were there. Man, that plant was roasted, probably low 90-degree water in the bag. Oh, that is a bummer. I hate it when plants that are getting shipped get in that super hot. I don't like that. That is kind of the bane of shipping, which is kind of one of those things that, like, in the past, I would just look up if it was super hot where people were at, and I'd be like, let's just wait till the weather dies down a little bit. Alyssa says, I don't know if I ever mentioned this before, but I really appreciate you and my other sober friends selfishly. I don't like getting drunk and never have, and around you, there's no pressure. That's true. I don't pressure anybody to get drunk ever. Actually, as a matter of fact, here's the thing. I'm sort of just ambivalent to it at this point in my life. It's like, if people are drinking or like, okay. And realistically, if people are really drunk, I just leave. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm just out. I gotta go. Like, I got another thing to go do. I don't tell people to stop or like interact. Like, hey, you really should cut that out. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just like, oh, cool. Like, this is just not for me now, so I'll just go. But I do love hanging around with people that are having a good time, like people that are hanging around having some beers and barbecuing or whatever. Like, I dig that. I dig that vibe for sure. So if people are just being chill and having a good time, I guess the bigger thing is that, like, all of the things that, like, drugs and alcohol bring to a person's personality, right? Like, I generally don't need them in order to have those things be a thing. Like, if I'm going to go talk to a bunch of people, I'll just go talk to a bunch of people. Like, if I'm going to go out dancing or whatever, I'll just go out dancing. If I'm going to go to a baseball game, I'll just go to a baseball game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that added lubrication for me to, like, be in that. So, and I think that's probably, like, the main focus that I think most people would benefit from engaging with is just, like, if I am so introverted that I can't go to a social event and, like, talk to people and feel comfortable or whatever, like, if I was feeling that way, like, that's what I would work on, as opposed to just have some shots or whatever and then just start acting like a goof, right? Like, I think that's where I would put my advice to the average person of, like, whatever those aspects are that you are looking for, that drugs or alcohol are bringing, how about just figure out how to grow those within yourself without the added crutch. That's what I would do, right? It's like with the dancing thing. It's like, if you're nervous about going out dancing or something, like, go take some dancing classes. And eventually you're going to feel like, oh, I'm sort of adept at swing dancing or whatever. So then if the girl or boy that wants to take you out swing dancing, you're like, oh, I took some lessons. Now it's not a bother. I'll just go because I'll be good, right? Like, so, I think it's really easy for people to interface with things that they are generally good and adept at, and be confident, like, when doing them, right? Yeah, and so I think, like, that's where I would say that most people should just kind of, like, focus their energy as opposed to supplanting it with something exterior, right? Skog Shrimp and stuff says bring back the RSS feed. Here's the weird thing. I never really understood the RSS feed. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just never did. Yeah, like I knew how to okay, yeah, so I'm looking it up right now and it's like I knew how to engage with the RSS feed searches and stuff, but I never knew how to apply them, I guess is the better way to put it. I never knew how to apply them to things that I was making or whatever. Okay, but I really came here today to say ramen is of the devil. Is ramen of the devil? Oh my god, ramen to me now, and most people are thinking top ramen, right? Like if I say ramen, people are thinking top ramen. Like to me, a traditional ramen bowl looks like this. Looks like this son of a bitch right here. Look at this. Well, where'd the picture go? Where's the image? Here we go. I'm going to bring you guys in on something. I'm going to bring you guys in on this picture right here. And this is a write-up I actually looked at the other day, so that's why it was the first. Speaking of Google searches, this to me is a ramen. This is a traditional ramen bowl to me. It's got the dashi. It's got actual ramen noodles, not like top ramen, bros. Okay? This is shoyu ramen right here. It's got the soft-boiled egg. It's got pork belly, chicken, whatever. It's got green onions. It's got sesame. It's got sesame oil. It's got all of the jams that you want. It's got that deep broth, you know? Like, this is how you make it. This is actually a great rundown. Homemade ramen by Junji. This is the one that I looked up the other day as like a reminder. You know, the dashi is the sauce. It's the clear stock, right? It's the go-to, baby. Like that's the stock. You got to make the ramen. The chashu is the pork belly, but I don't know all of the names of the meats. I know them in English. It's got to be English, bro, because I don't speak Japanese or anything like that. But yeah, to make the stock takes a while. It's not very difficult though. But to make like a pork stock base, you got to do it. You got to go deep. You know, you start with the dashi. It's super easy to do. You know, you just start with some chicken stock. You add the kelp to it. Yeah, and it's very easy to do. And then from there, then you get fancy with your pork. You get fancy with your chicken. You get fancy. And I just love ramen so much. To me, whether it be ramen or pho or whatever, like a bowl with some kick-ass noodles and a bunch of other good stuff with a stock that is just chef's kiss. It's got some bones in it. It's got some goodness. It's got all that attention and hours of simmering. I just love it to death. It's like my favorite thing. I tried a new instant ramen today, and it was a spicy, for once in my life, an advertised bowl of spicy ramen. That's, you know, this is the, you know, it's pretty cheap. It's instant ramen. You know what I mean? You just got to do what you got to do sometimes. You got to get those noodles in your body. It's very important. This was a spicy one that was not, It was not beyond the ability to eat. Does that make sense? It was actually edible, spicy. Vicky asked me if I was crying. Maybe I teared up a little bit, but it was a tears of joy, right? It was quite spicy, but not to a degree where you felt like you were going to die, right? Which is the typical interaction I have with those spicy ramen bowls is that I feel like they have a tendency to go so spicy that you feel like you're going to die, and that's not good. That's not a good feeling. I don't like feeling like I'm going to die because it's so spicy. We got a bunch of other people viewing right now. Hit the like button while you're here before you leave. Or become a patron or become a YouTube member. You could do that. Or if you got a free membership gifted from Rebecca Lowry, you could say thanks to her. You could show up and say, thanks, Rebecca, for gifting me a membership for a month for free of charge. You could do that. That's a thing that you could do. Food without potatoes had better be tacos. All other options are of the dark side. I wholeheartely disagree with that. I do like tacos, and as a matter of fact, there's a new taco place that opened up near us. We tried them out the other day. Carne asada was a little bit dry. Tortillas were fresh, so that's good. Fresh corn tortillas, not bad. But the carne asada was a little bit dry. The sauce was spicy, not too spicy. I did salsa verde and salsa roja, red and green sauce. Spicy, not too spicy, but they definitely had some. They had some dryness. The tacos had some dryness to them because of the carne asada being fairly dry. So, probably a 7 out of 10, something like that. Definitely serviceable. Wasn't too expensive, so that was definitely an upside. But I did have to add some crema, Mexican sour cream, the sour cream with the lime in it, and that definitely bumped it up a little bit. But there's rule 1, man. If you're gonna do some steak tacos, your steak cannot be dry. That's rule 1, baby. Don't you dare, And it was kind of dry, so a little disappointing, but overall good experience. Couldn't go there today because they don't have any inside seating. Today we had some massive thunderstorms with crazy downpours. We had that, I was going to say Florida rain, but Florida sucks. We had Hawaii rain. We had that Hawaii rain where you're like, is it going to rain today? And then you're sopping wet, and it's like 78 degrees out. Rebecca Lowry earlier said it was very smoky where you're at. The smoke has been moving around for sure. We were in the south end yesterday, and there was no smoke down there, but there's smoke here. Let's check our air quality right now. Let's check our air quality, and let's see where we're at. I almost said my zip code out loud. Let's not do that. Currently today, moderate. We have moderate smokiness here. Let's look around. The smoke in Washington is it's floating around. The air's moving around a bit. Things are happening, and it's ever changing. But we were down in the south end where the air quality index was green. We came back here, and it's yellow/orange. Rebecca said it was very smoky up by her house, and I agree. The map says don't go outside, basically. Right where Rebecca's place is, it says don't go outside. Oh, my God. Medford, Oregon. Medford and Grants Pass, Oregon is, look at this. Medford and Grants Pass, Oregon is currently they've gone purple. They've gone extreme purple, which means that's unhealthy air for everyone, for everybody involved. How do I exit out of that? You don't exit out. You have to close the whole window. Let's see what our smoke forecast is for this week. Moderate. Moderate today. Good tomorrow. Good tomorrow. Good August 31st. September 1st should be good too. All right. So today's the last day of smoky here. Rebecca Lowry lives where the forest is on fire. So chances are hers will not be improving for a while, but hopefully soon enough. Maybe some of these crazy downpour storms will come over there and help put out the fire. Rebecca says, I'm surrounded by a Hispanic community and cows. No decent carne asada to be had. Which is weird. There should be decent carne asada around there somewhere. They might be keeping it for themselves, though. If you learn some Spanish, se habla español, you could maybe go find some with some homies. But one thing I will say, having known quite a few Mexicans in my life, and Southern Americans, I would say Mexicans kind of specifically, the bigger thing that they're focused on is eating lots of corn tortillas in a day, whatever fruits and vegetables are around, and then whatever meat is kind of seasonal and / cheap, and then a lot of jalapenos and limes. Is they'll always just have whatever somebody, on the job, lunch, whatever. They'll always just have lots of tortillas, and then they're going to put something on the tortillas and eat them. And I'm like, it seems like such a simple diet, and it sort of makes sense to me. Every time I've been interfaced with it, I'm like, this makes sense. Like, if you're just hungry and you need some good, food power, this kind of makes sense. It makes sense to me. So, yeah. And normally they wouldn't have, like, carne asada at lunch, that's never been my experience. The Bocop fan says, Rebecca, you just have to make it very easy. It's actually not incredibly difficult to make carne asada. I do more cooking in winter, though, being off-grid and hoarding the power of the AC uses. Cooking in the summer is not as fun. That is true. It is quite hot where Rebecca lives, and they are reliant on using the sun power to run the air conditioner. So that, frankly, does make sense. Corvus, have you seen Silver Linings Playbook before? It came to mind based on the script you were discussing earlier. There's also another called Burnt that is pretty well done. Have you ever seen the Silver Linings Playbook? I don't think so. I don't think that I have, but let's see. Well, it's got De Niro in it. Bradley Cooper, De Niro, Jennifer Lawrence. This feels like a big enough movie that I probably have seen it, but maybe not. Maybe I haven't seen it. Huh. Well, I like Jennifer Lawrence, and I like De Niro, and I like Bradley Cooper, so maybe I'll check it out if I haven't seen it. The synopsis is, after a stint in a mental institution, former teacher Pat Solitano moves back in with his parents and tries to reconcile with his ex-wife. Things get more challenging when Pat meets Tiffany, a mysterious girl with problems of her own. Yeah, not bad. All right, I'll check it out. Fine. All right. You got me. You got me sold. I'll check it out. Everybody likes that Bradley Cooper, and why wouldn't you? I think I've seen Burnt. Let's remind. Why's my Google going slow? Uh-oh. Why's my Google going slow? My Google going slow. Burnt. Bradley Cooperstein. Yeah, I've seen Burnt. Yes, I have seen this. Actually, but believe it or not, I don't think that this did well. Box office 36 million, budget was 20 million. Yeah, I don't think it did all that well. I guess that's not terrible, but considering the so here to be clear, here's the thing: when you're looking at the budget of a movie, double it, because the budget doesn't include advertising, and the advertising is normally as much as the budget, right? So if this is a $20 million movie and they marketed it for $20 million, it means they spent 40 and they made 36.6. That's not great. I remember this not doing that well. And I do remember watching this movie and thinking, man, there really were some like continuity issues, I think. Yeah, Burnt grossed 13 million in the United States against a budget of 20 million. That's normally not good. Yeah, finishing sixth at the box office and marking the second straight underperforming opener for Cooper. But Bradley Cooper's back on top. Bradley Cooper's back on top, baby. Right? So, yeah, I remember watching this movie, and I don't know, really my takeaway from it was I'm just trying to remember back what my takeaway was, but I remember there being like inconsistencies and things that would seem strange as to the actual arc of the story and whatnot. Part 2 of the plants. I just got botanicals in. Have you ever made the concentrated blackwater liquids yourself to use? Yes, I have. I have actually done that quite a few times. Quite a few times. I've made blackwater liquids, and I've used a lot of blackwater botanical stuff, but I've never really ordered it because it's fairly easy to go hunting for it around here. Like, if I need to find dried alder cones, I can just go find them. You know, like, I live where botanicals just naturally occur, so I've never ordered them, so I don't have any advice on ordering them and stuff like that. Except for the Brightwell brand I got for free once from a bunch of Brightwell stuff. I tried that, and I was like, yeah, all right. You know, it was sort of one of those things where it's like the bottle version wasn't as great as just putting them in there, essentially. It was like the much easier way of doing it. So it was like, yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of like a, not a gag. A gag wouldn't be the right way to put it, but more likely a, really a niche product that's sort of marketed and targeted towards somebody who like doesn't have botanicals outside, but I do. So I just non-concern, right? If you Google search dirt fields, that's my backyard. A bit hard to find botanicals. Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like a product that's marketed to a very specific areas of the world geographically, which I do not even remotely fall into. So I just haven't found it like a need, right? Oh my God, one of our moderators is here. Zip has arrived. As a reminder, the phone lines are open if anybody wants to call in. The green room is open. A hobbyist very kindly sent me some, and it's a much welcome gift for the tanks. Oh yeah, I would recommend just getting dried botanicals. I wouldn't get the liquid stuff. I wouldn't get that. I would just get the actual dried botanical matter. You know, like you said, from a hobbyist. So that's the best way to do it. You know, if you could find a hobbyist that's already collecting it, and you're essentially helping them kind of pay for their time a little bit. That's I feel like a good deal, a good way to go. Oscar winner. Was that movie an Oscar winner? I feel like I must have seen it, but yeah. Jennifer Lawrence is not a Tiffany. I think she could be. I think she could play. She could definitely play a Tiffany for sure. I don't know about her newest film or movie. I don't even really call it a film, I guess. I don't know about the newest one. I haven't seen that. It almost just looks like a, why bother doing this movie? But yeah, I don't know. But I've liked most things that she was in. What was the space movie? Space movie with Jennifer Lawrence. Passengers. That movie was good. I felt like that was a good movie. I don't think it was a film. I don't think it was an exceptional deep thinker, but I liked that. I liked that movie. Yeah. That movie was good, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching that movie. So that's a good example of a Jennifer Lawrence. Plus the Hunger Games, all those others. She's been in a bunch of stuff, which is great. She's one of those like sneaky attractive people. Have you ever noticed that? Like she's not like classically attractive really necessarily, but for some reason she has like a sneaky attractiveness to her, which I fully understand why people are intrigued with her because of that. Mopani is a fun botanical. Yeah. Hector and the Search for Happiness is quite delightful also. Hector and the Search for Happiness. Man, you are naming movies that I am not remembering the names. Yes, Hector and the Search for Happiness. Yes. This is a good movie. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Definitely, if you haven't seen that, go watch that. I forgot Rosamund Pike was in it. I like Rosamund Pike and stuff. She's very interestingly, like, stoic. She's like a stoic female, which is really cool. I always like to see that. Mikey Fishy is bringing the farts. All right, buddy. Bringing the farts. He's coming hard. He's running right into the paint. He's running right into the paint with the hard farts, which we dig. Because farts are funny. I don't care how old you get. Farts are funny. Farts being funny ain't just for kids anymore. You know what I mean? It ain't just for kids. All right. Close that. Because farts are funny. Reaver's here. What's up, Reaver? What's going on? Oh, my God. People are showing up on a Monday. It must be raining in your neck of the woods, too. She has such a mystique. That's true, Aubrey. Yeah, she has like it's very interesting. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like, I mean, what do you put behind it? Like, what is it? Like, maybe somebody that just has like a good vibe to them. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really put it into words, but they're sort of energetic and engaged and whatever that is. They just have like that interesting nature about them, right? They have that interesting deal. Where'd the green room go? Oh, Derek is posting some updates on his fish room. Let's take a look at this. His fish room's coming along. It's looking pretty posh down there, I got to admit. Yo, Derek, your fish room's looking posh. Although you got some paintings down there you still need to hang up. They're leaning against your fish tank stand. But yeah, that's definitely coming along. Oh, and all tanks are in the basement. One more stand to go, then paint and plumbing. Nice. That's a good progress update. We like to see that. Sweet baby Jesus, we've got ourselves a super chat from Skog Shrimp and stuff. $33.94. He's matching my sobriety date with a super chat. My sobriety days with a super chat. Thank you very much, man. I very much appreciate it. And if you guys don't know, Skog Shrimp and stuff is the only producer in the YouTube members. And by the way, I did add a new tier to the YouTube membership tier system. Which we'll have to go over here and where are they? Oh, don't do that. We want oh damn, where's the tiers on here? Memberships. Where's that? This is memberships right here. Oh my gatos, where's my tiers in the freaking thing over here? I don't know where the button is. There's a button that will tell the tiers. Oh, hold on. I can do it on my phone. I'll have to go to YouTube Studio on my phone because I'm a dingbat. Sorry. Oh, sorry, guys. Where are my memberships? Here we go. Manage memberships. Membership levels. What the? Why can't I just look at the membership levels? Why isn't that? Oh my God. I was going to do it on my phone, but apparently I don't even know how to do it on my phone. Show more. It says talk about your memberships in your videos. It has that on here, but it doesn't show me the damn tiers. Where's the freaking tier? Oh my God. We can't even. Is it over here? Oh my God. I don't know. Apparently, I don't know how to use YouTube Studio and the Creator Studio anymore. I don't know how to do it. OMG. No. What? Is that it? No, that's not it. Oh my God, I can't even. Okay, well, I don't know how to. Comically stupid. Nabokov fan has got him faster than I could. I don't even know. Where is that freaking button? There's got to be a button in here to go look at him. Like, I'm in the memberships tab. See more? Maybe it's in here. Is it in here? No. Viewer age, viewer gender, date, revenue source, subscription status, subscription source. Oh my God, content type, playlist, more. We have like every freaking button under the sun here, except for like, what are your tiers, bro? Man, this is guys, this is what we call embarrassing. Yeah, I don't know. This is what we call embarrassing. But I've recently added the middle management tier. If you wanted to be somebody who's close to being a producer without all the responsibilities of being a producer, you too could be middle management. You could be middle management. You could drink out of a coffee cup that says, I need to get organized, right? You could do all of those middle management things. You could have a cat poster that says just hanging in there, right? And you could do all those middle management things if you want. We've replaced one of the nonsensical tiers that doesn't make any sense with middle management tiers, because we could just be middle management if you want. And you could have your say. You could put in your 2 cents when the producers say, hey, I want to see this content. You could put in your 2 cents, although you would be overridden by the producers if need be, right? Yeah, we do have the standard team leader, middle management, and producers. That's where we're at now. Most people end up at the standard level because it's like $5 a month, and most people could do that, which I even still support. I still support some other creators financially with my bits at the end of the month. You know what I mean? With a couple of dollars. So, yeah. I have responsibilities I don't even know about. I guess that must be upper management. That's right. That's one of the key elements of being upper management. You have all sorts of responsibilities and you don't even know about them. That's the key to being upper management. Like, was that a thing I was supposed to do? I didn't even know. And then you brush it off and reassign it to somebody else, right? Yeah. You send out a memo and a couple emails, and boom, your job's done. That's all. You just told some other people to do it, and you're out. And then you go golfing or whatever, you know? You go golfing, you're just AFK. That's how it goes, right? Oh, he's just not in the office now. I don't know. He's not in office. last one. You will cry and bawl like a baby, but it's an amazing journey and very vulnerable, honest. From scratch. Yeah, Rebecca got it. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Which movie was From Scratch? TV miniseries. Oh, this is probably why I haven't seen this. It's probably not. What is it on? Oh, it's on Netflix? Oh, I guess I could see it. No, I remember I started watching this and I was just bored out of my mind. Never got through it. I was bored. I was not engaged. I was not engaged with it. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'll ever watch it. There's so much stuff I need to watch to catch up on. I haven't even watched any of the new Star Wars stuff. I know I'm being a bad Star Wars fan, but how many episodes of Ahsoka are out now? How many episodes of Ahsoka are out now? Let's see. 8 episodes, and I think 2 episodes are out now. Season finale airing on Tuesday, October 3rd. So I've kind of got time to catch up. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I haven't watched any of the new Ahsoka, and I will just chill. I'll catch up. I'll let you guys know my synopsis. Admittedly, after the Wheel of Time broke my heart last year, I don't know how much I've really been able to even watch anything, you know. I just hit join. I might be able to pull it on a private window without cookies login. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. I would guarantee you there's a button in the studio. Oh, here it is. I found it. Guys, I found the button. Oh, I didn't realize it was the edit button. You have to go to the membership levels and then hit the edit button, and then it brings up this. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's sort of intuitive, but I mean, give me a break, right? Yeah. So we have the standard level, the team leader level, middle management, and producer. And I feel like I need some ideas for the $10 a month level. What should the $10 level be? What should $10 a month? Type them in the chat. Winner gets their own tier. We'll name it after that. Or maybe we could do a poll. We got a half an hour. We still got a half an hour. I desperately need to go plane some more wood today. I got to run some more wood through the planer, and it's going to rain the next 2 days. So I need to do that before it starts to raining. Because the rain coming all night long. Because then I got to cover up all my massive wood piles so it doesn't get rained on. I don't need extra moisture added in this time of year to my lumber. So I'll have to cover it up. They get to see you do some art once a month. Yeah, actually, I mean, here's the weird thing is that there really was such low demand for seeing me do art, but I'm not opposed to the way that I'm setting up the new studio. I'm certainly not opposed to setting up some live streams that I can be doing some art on them. And reasons for that you guys will see once you guys see the kind of final studio. I'm running essentially, to explain it, I'm running networking and cables throughout all of the walls, so I'll be able to just move cameras around and stuff like that without really being encumbered by stupid nonsense. Right, stupid nonsense, aka like finding cords, finding adapters, finding stuff, laying cords all over the ground and crap like that. I won't have to do that, so yeah, I probably won't be too opposed to that. One of the downsides is that I listen to loud music while I normally while I do art, right? George, I don't even know what that says. What does that say? George showed up and he typed a bunch of chat. A bunch of nonsense. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. Better not be bad, otherwise we'll get in trouble with the bad police, right? How to draw a couple walking in the rain, red acrylic painting. What? What the fuck? Okay. Like, is that I have to do how to draw a couple walking in the rain, or a red acrylic painting, or is that like search engine optimization or something? I don't know. I don't know that to be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever drawn a couple walking in the rain. I don't know that I've ever done that. Maybe I have. I don't know. Bump 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 bump. We still have a half an hour. Sweet. Just got another conservative load of pavers. I don't know what that means. Conservative loads of pavers. What does that mean? Maybe you just got another load of pavers for your pond situation, and a 32-gallon Rubbermaid trash can I'm going to use as a pond, or as a pump house. A pump house so I can service the pump without tearing my pond apart. That's a smart move. That is 100% a smart move. I've seen some pretty dumb moves in ponds in my days, and that sounds like a much better situation to have a little pump house and service your pond without effing the thing up. Reaver says, how's the new studio coming along? New studio's coming along great. We are making lots of progress. If you pop onto Facebook, actually, I'll just hold on. Oh, damn it. I can show you the video. I didn't upload it to anything else. I just put it I put it on Facebook, but it has AC/DC in the background, so we'll get like a copyright claim if I put it in the what do you call it? In the stream. Ah, crap. Stop playing sound. Turn the sound off. Okay, let's go like this. I'll show you here's some of the crap I've been working on, bros. But yeah, if you're not on Facebook, I don't even think I posted this to Instagram, mainly because it's just for like family and stuff. Like I'm on Instagram, and to like yell at conservatives. It's pretty fun. Boomers, you know. Here's me making the trim for the new room, the new fish room, the new studio, whatever you want to call it. We don't have a name for it yet. We need a name for that. We'll have to name it something. I was leaning towards Bob or Rupert. Maybe Robert, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to name it. Yeah, so this is a little look how little Olivia was. That's some crappy video quality playback from the internet. Thanks, internet. This is Olivia's first birthday, guys. What a fucking cutie patootie. You know what I'm saying? She's here today, and I'm surprised she has not busted in here to sing you guys a song or whatever. But I had expected it, but we haven't seen her. I haven't seen her busting in here yet. But she was a little cutie patootie, and by the way, she's just she's gonna be 5 pretty soon, and I don't know what to tell you about that, but that's just some really wild stuff. And there's Mr. Chippers, Mr. Chips, the favorite mascot of the YouTube channel, who has left this mortal coil, right. We don't. But yeah, the fish room is coming along pretty darn well. I don't have a lot of complaints at this point, other than a few products costing more than I think that they should at this point. Like, hey man, the fucking pandemic's over. We're endemic. We're endemic now, bros. Like, certain prices of things went way up and did not come down. And when they did come down, they were like, it's 15% off. Look. And you're like, it's still 285% more expensive than it was. What happened? So a little bit pissy about that. Rupert is the only option. Name it Thunderdome. All right, we got to keep track of these so we can run a poll next week. What do we got? What did we have? Voices, Gaffer, Best Boy Grip, Team Lead. We already have the Team Lead tier. Team Lead's at $20, but we need a $10 tier. Let's go add level. We'll go edit. Whoops. Don't click that. We're not in Slovenia. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a $10 tier, and what are we going to call it? It has to sit for a while. They have to approve it. Water cooler or coffee cart? Water cooler or coffee cart? You know what? I'm kind of into it. I'm into the coffee cart. Whoop. We'll put in a coffee cart level. Add perk. Should we add a perk to it? No, we won't. That's fine. We'll add perks later. Next. What does this mean? Oh, there's something I need to add. Priority reply to comments. Okay. We like it. Done. Next. Okay. My perk will be reviewed within 24 hours. All right, we'll add that one. We'll just call it the coffee cart. I like that. That's kind of stood out to me. We'll call it that, and then we'll leave it there, and we'll see if anybody joins it. Mikey Fishy says, do you get a better percentage from YouTube or Discord? I get a better percentage from Discord, I think, for sure. Yeah, 100%. No question about it. Or sorry, not Discord, Patreon. You put in Discord in there. I think you're asking Patreon. I get a better percentage from Patreon. Patreon takes 9%. It's like 4.5% for the site, and then 4.5% for processing. So you get like 90% from that. Currently, the new Patreon levels, they charge more percentage, but yeah, I don't know. Zipgun's here. What's up, dude? Hello? 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 Okay, he's being quiet. I don't know. He's here, but he's being quiet. He isn't saying anything. Okay. All right. I'm on a rabbit hole now. Too much awesome art. I was just asking if you'd enjoyed that art video from a while back. It's just very cool to me. Video has a few million views, so that's cool. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mikey Fish says, I mean Patreon. Yeah. We get better, we get a better, I get a better percentage from Patreon, right? But as a reminder to people, I was like, if you just want to keep all of your stuff on YouTube, like essentially, like if you're making a lot of money and there's a lot of members on YouTube, YouTube will promote the channel more, essentially, right? That's kind of what that boils down to, right? Like, let's say your YouTube channel was making, I don't know, some crazy number, like $20,000 a month in membership, in memberships. Like, you would end up on YouTube's like corporate radar somewhere, right? Like, eventually they'd be like, hey, what's up with that channel? A lot of people are chipping in on that channel. What's going on with that? How do we help make that better, right? How do we help make that number get bigger? Because that's YouTube's whole goal, right? YouTube's entire goal is to make money. That's the whole reason they exist, and that's the only reason they exist, right? So essentially, like, if people are putting money into your YouTube channel, YouTube will invariably, like, let's put some resources that way. Let's put discoverability, more discoverability that way. Let's promote those videos a little bit more just to see if we can grow that, right? And it's like I was talking earlier about Jake Paul, Logan Paul, like those dingbats, right? Like, they're a perfect example of, I don't know that they bring any quality to anything, but because they were popular, they're going to continue to get pushed, right? And so, yeah, that's sort of the tax benefit side of YouTube memberships, right? Is that eventually the idea is that like your YouTube channel gets noticed by YouTube and they're able to like put some of their resources into it. Is essentially like how that looks. Mickham says, I ordered some new fish from Aquarium Glazer. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Arriving Thursday. A softwater glass perch kind of fish. Very cool. I will say I would love to go back to Aquarium Glazer. I don't know that I ever will. Now that I'm back to just being regular old Joel, not associated with any corporations. And but I would love to go back. The time I spent there was far too short. I would have loved to spend way more time filming, recording, interviewing, learning about stuff there. It was a wonderful facility, wonderful people. It was fantastic. I had a great time. But I don't know if I'll ever go back. I don't know if I'll be invited back, I guess would be the bigger deal. But maybe. I hope to go back. And if I lived in Europe, I would order from those guys for sure. I don't know if you can order from them stateside. That's not information that I have. But I would not even be opposed to if you were stateside and could order something from them. Like, it's probably worthwhile. Zipgun's back. He left and came back. He's reloading. Hello? I bet you there's something going on with his mic. Where's the chat window? Is your mic malfunctioning? Mikey's gonna keep their higher membership at Patreon then. Yeah. Hey man. Like I've always said, Any support is much appreciated. Rebecca has upgraded to the coffee cart, and Aubrey has upgraded to the coffee cart. Thank you very much, guys. You know, one of those big things too is like I've talked to people in the past, and they're like, "Hey, man, like I'm pretty." They're like, I'm pretty active. Like I comment on everything, and I'm always around, and I'm pretty active and stuff. Like that stuff's super appreciated too. And even people that are like passive, that's all. Any kind of whatever is just appreciated. It's great to have people around, and our little community here. We'll see if we can continue to grow it. See if we can continue to grow it while we kind of focus a little bit on the internet side of things, as it were. Zip, what's wrong? Use your words. Use your mouth. I don't know what's happening. He's in the green room. I think his microphone isn't working. That's what I'm going to guess. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Your mic is not being seen by the computer. Very helpful, computer. Very helpful, microphone. Mickham says, people throwing money at someone want them want to learn. Oh, makes them want to learn why it is so and how to make some themselves. Well, because YouTube's already the hosting platform, right? So they're just recognizing that, like, oh, hey, this person or persons or whatever is generating us money. How do we help facilitate that to make more money, right? Because they're like, oh, we get a percentage. If they make more money, we make more money. That's the whole reason they exist in the first place. YouTube is an advertising platform. I mean, that's wholeheartedly what it is. It's an advertising platform that people are able to interface with, right? People are able to interface with an advertising platform to put their own content up and potentially make money off of advertising, right? So that's basically what YouTube is focused on is how do we make more money off advertising. And for instance, like if you're a channel that's not advertising friendly, but you had, like, let's say you had a channel that was not advertising friendly because you were swearing and occasionally did whatever. It just was, it's like, Ford Motor Company doesn't want, their ads played on your video because you swear sometimes or whatever, right? That would sort of become irrelevant if memberships were as high as the amount of money that you would have made via advertising, because they're like, oh, it's just a one-to-one swap. So instead of trying to sell more advertising, why don't we help them sell so that more fans can buy in and they get a cut of it, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the way that they look at it, right? When I say I bought a conservative load of pavers, I mean I got a small enough amount that I'm pretty sure my car can handle taking it home. 12 large pavers, 9 small, and 2 cinder blocks. Oh! Well, that kind of makes sense. Now that you explain it that way, that definitely does make sense. You got a conservative load, meaning that you didn't get a gigantic load of pavers. Makes sense. I know where Alyssa is. She's not going to drive up a large hill. Slow rolling hills where Alyssa lives. She doesn't have any of the steep ones. It was all carved down by glacial, what do you call that? Glacial migration or whatever? What is it called when a glacier migrates? Piedmont glaciers is when they combine forces. What is it called when a glacier moves? What is it called when a glacier moves? Glacial motion. That's it? I thought there was a cool name for it. Oh, albation is when it melts. That was what I was thinking of. Albation, or ablation. There we go. Not albation. Ablation. 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 How do we say it? Let's check it out. Am I saying it correctly? Or Is there something wrong with me? Could be something wrong with me. Very well could be. Oh my God, something wrong with me. Oh, it's ablation. Duh.
Ablation. Ablation.
Ablation.
Ablation.
I'm an idiot. Not a bright guy. Not a bright guy, but the thing is about the geology stuff. I was really tracking with geology, and I was kind of learning a lot about geology and stuff, and then I don't what was the word? What was the word I was looking for? Oh, I'm not tracking the geology stuff that much anymore. A little bit. Still a little bit, because I still like it. I caught the fact you're not at the co-op. Was that a topic of conversation here that you can point me at? Beginning of the show, I read a statement, and pretty basic statement about it. I can find it again if you want. Needless to say, it's been about 3 weeks since I've been at the coop. I don't work there anymore, and I don't have any association with them at all. So that's probably the easiest way to explain it. Or you could go back and listen to my statement. But yeah, I'm back on my own. I don't work there anymore, and I don't have any answers to any of your questions about anything going on with that company. Needless to say. Zip is back. What's wrong with your microphone? Oh my God. I wish your microphone worked. Oh, it's working.
Woohoo!
Oh my God, microphone's working. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm having to figure out how much prep I want to do for the hurricane that's coming. I don't think it's gonna affect us much. But we still are in the cone.
Is it a giant hurricane or just a regular hurricane?
It's a tropical storm, but it's picking up steam in the Gulf Coast, so it could be anywhere between a 1 and a Category 3 by the time it hits the west coast of Florida. So they're going to have a nasty day. They're going to have no fun. But by the time it goes across the state, it loses a lot of steam, and it's projected to hit north. Go up north of Jacksonville. So if it stays that, we shouldn't be affected very much.
Oh, is it going up north of Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Where's
so
that?
It hit like kind of the elbow of Florida, and then kind of turn north.
Let's take a look. Let's see what the current. Let's see. Oh my God, we're going over to the Hurricane Center. It's Hurricane Franklin. Oh my God, ridiculous. Why did they call it Hurricane Franklin? That's just offensive. Okay, I'm offended.
It's a tropical storm, Adele.
Adele? What the hell am I looking at then? What is this? What is this bullshit? I'm stuck in the bullshit. Is it Idalia or Franklin?
Yeah, Idalia.
Idalia. Okay, so that one's going to spin back around and do a little friggin' loop-de-loop thing here, huh? Is that what's going on? Because right now it's going into the Gulf of Mexico, I think. Am I losing my mind?
Yeah, it's the cone is having it. It should curve around and then kind of hit that elbow, that inner elbow where the panhandle connects. That's where they're projected at hitting, and then going up into Georgia.
Oh yeah, okay. So I see it's gonna do the little loop-de-loop. It's gonna hit in between Tallahassee and Tampa Bay, and then go across and up the coast through Georgia and South Carolina. South Carolina has not been doing a lot of things recently that I respect, so I got to make fun of them a little bit. Although I do know there are a lot of cool people from South Carolina, I could still make fun of them as a whole, right? Right? Yes. Well, it looks like, because you're on the other coast, you're on the east coast of Florida, correct?
Yeah, so we should just get a lot of rain here.
Yeah.
We won't get storm surge, and we won't get the really nasty we'll get, like it'll be probably a long, nasty thunderstorm is what we'll get.
Right. So your moist meter will be very high, but your wind meter will be down low.
Basically, yeah.
Nice. Hey, we like it when the moist meter is high. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, he's got jokes. A lot of rain in the Carolinas, they said. Mickham, correct. That's what I think. Alyssa Bentley, thank goodness I can imagine driving in some places with my little Subaru when I had it. I missed that thing. Yeah, here's the funny thing. I drive my truck all the time, and my truck is a full-size pickup truck. I mean, it's V8. It's full-size towing trailers truck. And I drive that thing around, and then every once in a while I drive Vicky's Subaru, and I'm like, what is this little beep-beep machine? What is this thing supposed to do something? Like, what are we doing here? It just seems so weak and so feeble compared to my truck. But, yeah, the Subarus are fun to drive around, I will say that, and reasonably priced. But now I got to get one thing at Lowe's. They didn't have a Home Depot. Luckily, Lowe's is like 6 minutes from my house on super flat land. That's true. Actually, getting to Home Depot and Lowe's from Alyssa's house is quite convenient, I will say. The times I've been over there helping her with some projects, it's like, oh, shit, we need this. It's like, oh, let's just drive over there real quick. It's not far, and it's not that much in your way, so pretty easy. It's pure awesomeness, just low clearance. Vicky has the what the hell is that thing called? Subaru Forester. She has is it a Forester? I think. Yeah. Yeah, Subaru Forester has the fat hatch butt. But she has the older one. I think it's like a 2011 or something? 2012 maybe? Let me see. 2012. Let's put that in there. Is that what it is? Is that it? That might be it. Yeah, it's like a 4-door with the hatch butt, you know. It kind of stands up a little taller than the lower Subarus, so, you know, I don't know. But it's a definite change of pace when I go from my truck to Vicky's Subaru. So are you excited for the hurricane, Zip? Are you just ready for it?
Like I said, I'm not thinking we're going to be that affected by it. I'm just hoping work doesn't make us jump through a lot of hoops. You know, if it was coming up the East Coast, that'd be a different story. And it's like, yeah, let's prep, but
get ready for the big wind and the storm surge and all that stuff. But it coming across the state, it normally kind of doesn't it? It slows
it slows everything down. They lose a lot of power on land. It's the Gulf Coast, man. That's that hot water.
Yeah.
That's you know, when it does start swirling around in there, yeah, they get really nasty there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that all that much. But today we had some kind of insane thunder and lightning. Like a level of thunder you're just not used to. Like normally you hear some rumbling and stuff. It sounded like a garbage truck was like rolling, not on its wheels, but like rolling down the street. It's like, what the hell was that? You know, and then we get these bursts of insane rain. Like probably
Nice.
probably like a quarter inch of rain, if not more than that, came down in like 10 minutes. It was like, what is going on out here? You know, like. But we don't have hurricanes, but we get moist here also. So I feel you.
Yeah, I grew up in Brevard County, Central Florida, on the coast, like we're near Cape Canaveral, Skinny Space Center.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it may have changed now, but at the time, you know, that area was kind of the lightning capital of the world. You know, the summer storm season.
Yeah.
You get a 4 o'clock thunderstorm every day that would just, you know, for half an hour of just constant lightning and thunder.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
don't. Here's the thing. Like, I'm always kind of excited by weather if it's legitimately like a wild event. But I don't particularly. I'm not too excited about the aftermath. That's like the bigger. That's the bigger thing, right? Like I'm sort of interested by the spectacle, right? Like even when we had the heat dome here, when it was like 115 out, that kind of crap. It's still like it was a spectacle, and I think that like that's kind of exciting. But the aftermath is always just such a pain that it'd be nice to have a couple years of just regular weather, but I don't think we'll ever have that ever again. I don't think we'll ever be in that space.
Yeah, the new normal's not so great.
Right. Oh, Rebecca says the Home Depot is by her is an hour away. That is kind of a bummer. And on that note, one of the things that Vicky and I were doing when we were looking for potential places to move to about 5 years ago, if you guys remember, we were going to like Montana and Idaho, and we were looking all around. There was a lot that was on our sort of planned radar, and on for reasons that don't really need to get elucidated on, we ended up moving here because of work and stuff like that, and that obviously was a waste of financial energy for sure. But in the long run, we do like it up here, and we're planning on staying up here. But one of the things that we were looking at was, is there a Home Depot or a Lowe's or a Menards or a something like that in a certain radius of the properties that we were looking at? Like, is there a Home Depot within a half an hour drive is essentially what we were doing, Because just the fact that you could run and get parts for things is just such a big deal. And I know a lot of people that live an hour, 2 hours away, 3 hours away from an actual hardware store that it's like, dude, I don't know how you guys deal with it, that you can't run and go get like a 2-inch coupler to repair the thing that you need to fix. It's just a bummer, and you probably end up carrying so much extra inventory in your garage that you'd just be losing your mind, I think, after a while. Or just counting on Amazon to bring it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes away from a Lowe's, 10 minutes away from a Home Depot, and 20 minutes away from an Ace Hardware.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, things like that are a big deal when you get down to it. It's like it's a big deal for somebody in a day-to-day life like mine, right? Where you go, oh, I need a 7 1/4 saw blade. I need 2 packs of finished nails. I need a 2-inch coupler, and I need some glue, right? And you're like, oh my God, I could sit here on Amazon for the next 3 hours trying to find the thing and that stuff will show up in like 2 or 3 days. Or I could spend a half an hour, run over to Home Depot, get it a half an hour back or 20 minutes back or whatever, and just go on the project. It to me is a big deal because I'm always doing something, and invariably I'm always short like a part or some wire or whatever, and yeah, it's just paramount to somebody like me that's always taking things apart and making new stuff. So, and Ace Hardware is just so much more expensive. That's the one thing I've noticed. Anytime I go to Ace Hardware, there's like a big markup on stuff that's cheaper. It's the exact same thing over at the big stores. Plus, now I'm an elite Home Depot member. I'm not even a pro anymore. I'm an elite now, so I get discounts at Home Depot because I've been with them so long that they're like, yeah, you get a discount now. So I get like 5% off even stuff that's like on sale. So it's not huge, but it helps.
Yeah, that shit adds up.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you're buying stuff like roofing or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Ace is usually like Lowe's doesn't have it, Home Depot doesn't have it. Sometimes Ace has it.
Right.
It's that last before Amazon.
Right. That's the niche that they exist in, is like, let's try to carry things that the other stores don't, and then they have to come here. Which actually
Right.
nowadays, the thing that has replaced that for me here is a place called, oh, hold on. I don't know if I want to say. I don't know if it's a national chain. I want to look it up first. Okay, yeah. There's definitely multiple. It's a company called Coastal Farm and Ranch Supply. That place has replaced Ace Hardware for me. I was wondering if Coastal was nationwide, and it is. It's at least, they have like at least 36 locations. So yeah, Coastal has replaced that for me. Yeah. So they've replaced Ace Hardware, because Coastal will have a bunch of whack shit that Home Depot doesn't have. They're like, hey, I need some barbed wire, and I need these cutters and a fucking horseshoe. I don't know, just weird shit, and you got to go there, and then Coastal has replaced that for me.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Brevard County, there's a place in Cocoa. If you ever go to Brevard County, hit this place. It's called Travis Hardware in the little historic downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It's the original setup was two-story buildings side by side that they knocked some walls out of.
Mm-hmm.
You just go through there, up and down the stairs, and they have all sorts of wacky crap just everywhere, just stashed in corners and nooks and crannies. Been there for 80 years.
Right. Speaking of that, I found out that one of our YouTube members, one of our community, owns a antique hall or antique mall in Florida. And I'm very intrigued to try and figure out how to fly down there and check out this damn antique mall. Trying to figure that out. Because I want to go down and film a couple fish rooms and then go to this antique mall. But also at the same time, that does cost money, so we'll figure it out.
Right, yeah.
Mickham says, I miss having a car nowadays. No need, since I live my days in a pretty big city over here. But in summertime, I'd like to go out into the countryside. Yeah, I think, especially I think Mickham's in Sweden, I believe. That's one of those things, like public transportation is so good in the EU that you could pretty easily survive without a car. It's not a big deal. But yeah, you probably do miss out on some of those, oh, hey, I just want to go hike today. Hop in your car and go out to somewhere and go for a hike and then just come back. That's pretty convenient. But I do know a few people that have some of those. They have rideshare programs where you can essentially reserve a car for a day, or 8 hours of a day, or 5 hours out of a day, or something like that. And I've noticed that the pricing on those seem pretty reasonable. And I was like, oh, that's pretty darn convenient. It's obviously you're not able to use it in the moment if there isn't one available, but it might be a reasonable option if you're finding that owning a car is probably too encumbering, with insurance and making payments and fuel and maintenance and all that shit. It might be a reasonable way to go for some folks. 100%. I could easily just be a driver and be content. A driver for what? Like a delivery driver? I don't know. That being a delivery driver gets pretty tiring, honestly. It was overlooked probably and cooked on a griddle. Mexicali Fish Keeper. Oh my god, are you talking about the carne asada? It must be way behind in the live stream. My guess is with the dry carne asada from earlier in the stream, it did have a vibe of We cooked a bunch because it's busy right now and was probably set aside, would be my guess. It didn't have the I cooked it just this moment moisture to it. Me having many, many years of food prep experience, I could tell you that was the most likely scenario. Was we cooked a bunch and set it aside and was hot holding it over here so that we're ready to make tacos rapidly as customers come in because it's a small place. And I don't think that was benefiting the quality of the taco itself in the way that they were prepping it. So I used to work at a very, 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 and I cannot put more emphasis on this, very busy Mexican restaurant where we did street tacos. And those things were flying out the door a million miles an hour. And so I was almost always had carne asada on the grill. And I would cut it up and I would hot hold it, but I would hot hold it in like a jus that was actually an au jus that was made of the same marinade for the carne asada itself. So basically what I would do is I would cut the carne asada, or I'd hold the carne asada whole, grill it, put it in the hot hold, leave it whole, right? Let it sit aside in that jus. Then as I got in 15 orders of street tacos, I would pull from that hot that had been kind of sitting there in the jus, just chilling, cut up 15 orders worth, hand it to the taco assembler dude, and just constantly be doing that all the time, right? And by the way, that was not the only thing I was making off of the grill. There was many other things coming off of that damn side that I worked on, and it was one of the ways to keep up the pace as opposed to grilling it at every order that came in, just throwing it on the grill all the time, right? Carne asada is more of a Mexican thing. Yes, and northern Mexico at that is correct. I 100% agree. No argument on that at all. It definitely is northern Mexican. Southern Mexican is very much different cuisine. Oaxaca and stuff like that is very much different. But as I was kind of talking about earlier in the stream here, all of my interactions with all my Mexican friends and Mexican coworkers and all the people that I've known over the years, the one contiguous thing that I can say is that most Mexicans that I know are more focused on a quality tortilla and then whatever was seasonal. You know, if it happened to be that this vegetable was in season, that's generally what they had. If whatever meat was kind of seasonal, it had just been butchered, it was a decent price, blah blah blah, that kind of all those considerations, that was going to go on a tortilla and they're going to eat it. That's, and most of the guys I know didn't even bring hot sauce. They didn't bring hot sauce anywhere. They would always just bring some jalapenos, just some whole ones, because they hold up really well. You could grab 5 or 6 jalapenos, put them in their lunch thing, and then just chomp on a jalapeno as you go along. And that's how all the guys I know, I knew, generally speaking, is a very, I'm sort of, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's sort of a stereotype or whatever, but that's generally how all those guys ate. You bring a stack of 20 or 30 nice fresh corn tortillas with you, and then just whatever kind of seasonal thing added to the tortilla and work your way through lunch, That's how most my experience with most realistic Mexican food culture is, that the focus is on fresh tortillas every day. That's really where the focus is. But I could be mistaken by that, but that is generally the takeaway that I've known over the years, over the decades now. Yeah. Stockholm, $90 a month for a traveler's card subscription. Oh yeah, $90 a month. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, driver transporter Jason Statham. Oh, Jason Statham? Statham style? You gonna karate kick some people? Oh man, I don't know if I'd want to be. I don't know if I'd want to be in charge of having to inflict violence to keep my cargo intact. Right? I don't know. It seems too stressful for me for a day-to-day interaction just for a job. Our local Ace in SeaTac back 25 years ago was worth the extra buck because the guys there knew everything about everything and were willing to shoot the shit and take calls if I needed help. Yeah, and that makes sense, and it definitely is worthwhile to have knowledgeable people at a hardware store. Now, the one thing that I've noticed is that the big chain hardware stores, the knowledgeable people are there at like 6 in the morning, right? They're all like the plumbing guy is a retired plumber. The electrical guy is a retired electrician who just wants something to do. The lumber guys, they're generally like old framers and stuff like that. If you go in at 6 o'clock in the morning, you generally will find the knowledgeable people. Now, obviously, I'm making a big generalization, but those people want to work the morning shift, and they get it because they're bringing something to the table, and they're able to sort of set their hours by that. For instance, one of the electrical guys I used to deal with down in Linwood, the guy was like 78, 79. I forget how exactly old he said. 77, something like that. I mean, he's too old in his opinion. This is his opinion. He was too old to be on the job site, but he wanted something to do. He just wanted to kind of stay busy, and, you know, it is sort of a social job. So, like, you know, you get to talk to people, you get to meet people every day. Maybe it's not the most glamorous job in the world, but it's something to do, you know. And from my understanding is that he was only there from 5 until 11, 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. That was it. He only worked like a 6-hour shift, and that was it. And it was kind of how he spent his mornings. And, yeah, and it was a good example of a guy that you'd go in and be like, oh, I'm looking for this. You know, I need a EMT coupler that transitions to MC cable. And like, oh, I've got like 3 or 4 of them up here, but that's it. And there's not really a spot for them, so I know where those are at, you know, which is very helpful for sure. Mickham says 40 minutes is the max time to reach my friends or family. So as long as I don't have kids, I actually have no need for a car here. We have a very good local bus, train, subway network every 10th minute departure. That's fantastic. It's one thing that really pisses me off about America is that we do not have you know, America used to. 100 years ago, we had a public transportation system that would have blown your friggin' minds, but we don't have it now. It's not the priority. It hasn't been the priority for a really long time, and we don't. As a matter of fact, we used to have it, and they ripped it all out, like the train systems and stuff, and I would really implore people to go research that if you are interested, because it really is. Something has just come to my attention. We are half an hour over our normal allotted Monday 2-hour time. But I probably will stream a couple times this week, probably playing some Risk games to record those for a later publication date on a different YouTube channel, right? On the gaming channel that we have. I'll probably be playing some Risk games, so I hope to see everyone around if that is something that interests you. Our viewer activity tab, Rebecca Lowry gifted 15 subscriptions today and upgraded from standard to the coffee cart tier. I very much appreciate it, guys. That is very, very nice of you, and I very much appreciate that. Actually, that new perk published super fast. They reviewed it, and they said there's nothing wrong with the coffee cart, so they approved it. So the $10 level exists now. Skog Shrimp and stuff with a $33.94 super chat. I very much appreciate that. And Aubrey upgraded from standard to the coffee cart. So we're going to probably have to have some kind of coffee cart meetup at some point in time because people are into that tier. You know what I'm saying? So very much appreciate it. Zip Gun with the call today. We actually had a caller, so that's cool. We appreciate that. And hopefully we had a fun Monday and. You know, hopefully people are enthusiastic about what we're doing around here as more content starts to come out, starting to release more and more onto YouTube again. And, yeah, hope you all have a lovely week, and I'll see you at a later time. All right.